Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bonfire Career Professionals Call. This is for our career professionals and leaders that are seeking to become better at their career and jobs and how they affect the lives of others, and also those that are seeking new careers. Maybe you're in between jobs and needing some advice on how to get to that next career, or you're in a career now and wanting to leap to a new industry or leap to a new job. So wherever you are, you're perfectly welcome here and you're in the right place. I'm Coach Tina Marie St.Cyr, and I'm the founder of Bonfire Coaching, and that's where you are. Some of you are invited because you're interested in coaching and you've been talking to our delightful Pam Shamlin, who helps you understand everything that we could possibly do for you. And so we wanted you to see how we roll. This call happens once a month on the second Thursday of the month at noon Central. So that's why we're gathering here. And thank you for everybody who's on now. I see Mr. Alex Weber got to join this one live. Hello, Alex.
Hey,
Great
Alex.
And you're going to get some warm love from everybody. And I know that there's plenty of people that would love to have access to this. I've been getting the texts come in saying, I can't be there, or I'm going to be there for the last 30 minutes, or something of that nature. We always record it, and we're going to be sending that out to the same list that was on the invitation, right? We also have a wonderful team member named Kate who takes these recordings and is putting them up on our YouTube channel and organizing them so that you can find them for future reference as well, just in case you misplace the replay. So today, what I want to focus on is a second part of LinkedIn. How do we use LinkedIn as a job finding resource, way to network and connect and really get in front of those people we want to have the attention of, be it a hiring manager, someone in HR, someone of network ability toward a job. So we're going to be diving into that in a little bit. There's a couple announcements I want you to be aware of. With Bonfire, there are 3 calls that happen each month. The first call is this one. This is the Career Professionals Call. It happens on the second Thursday of the month. And then next week, on the third Thursday of the month, is what we call BBOM, which is Bonfire Business Owners Mastermind. So if you're a business owner, side hustler, entrepreneur, or you'd like to be in circle with those types, that's what we do on the third Thursday of the month, and that's at 4 p.m. Central. I joked with Pam that we need to make that the third Thursday of the month at 3, but no, it's at 4. It doesn't really roll off the tongue as much, so maybe we'll change the time. But next week, it's at 4 p.m. And then we also have the third call is for everyone together, and that's where we do growth, contribution, share our wins as an entire Bonfire family, and that happens on the last Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Central. So we wait till we get home, maybe get something in your belly, grab a drink, beverage, and join us. And so this month we have a lot of Tuesdays. We have more Tuesdays than normal. So that Tuesday happens to be June 30th. It's the last day of the month. We're going to be gathering around our proverbial fire at 7 p.m. for Bonfire. You have that in your inbox. If you're not receiving our emails, please do write us. The best way to get to Bonfire is hello@bonfirecoaching.com. So just mark that down and let us know if you're not getting any of these invites, emails, and we'll help you work through how that works and make sure we've got your best email. So I also want to leave time to answer your questions. If anybody has any questions about LinkedIn, about job hunting, about interviewing, about anything career or professional, about leadership, communications, things like that, we have time for that toward the end, and that'll start around 12:45. We'll have that. We love to begin with the wins and other advice from our team and things like that. I do want to take some time to introduce our other coaches who are also on this wonderful call. We've got Michael McFadden from Colorado Springs. Say hi, Mike. And we've got Melissa Mullenbach here. And she's camera shy today. But Melissa's here. I know she's traveled. So you're with family, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We're here with family. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. No worries. And we have a whole wonderful set of coaches that are amazing. And this week we've added a new coach who's going to be in training. He's just starting out. And that's Mr. Larry Monks. He joins us with a background in teaching, professional teacher and a coach on the rugby side and on sports, and he's moving that coachability into working with other people and helping them live the lives of their dreams. So we're very grateful to have Larry joining us. And of course, we have everyone. I'm probably going to forget someone, but Wilner and Michelle Navarro and Jackie St.Cyr and Mary Camden and gosh, we've got so many people, and Kim Neese, and we've just got an amazing group of coaches. I'm so grateful. If you know of anybody who's interested in joining a coaching family, they can always reach out to Pam and know how we work together. So Pam, what's your best email? She's going to unmute and tell us. I think I know it.
I can always be reached at hello@bonfirecoaching.com. My email is Pamela, Pamela @bonfirecoaching.com.
There you go. Pretty easy. I love that. And you had some words of advice that before we start off the call of things that you noticed that were how to stand out, whenever we're in this career development portion of our lives, that you wanted to add to the call too. And I thought, yes, you need to share these things because it's very unique, and we want our clients to stand out. What was that you found?
Well, it's something that I don't think many of us think about these days. And I've noticed a lot lately when I make phone calls, a lot of us tend to send the calls to voicemail. So I just wanted to bring up, and my tip is that you have a personal message for your outgoing message when someone calls, so that they don't get the robot lady that says, "You've reached 713-555-1234, leave a message." But it's you, it's your voice saying, "Hi, this is Pamela. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave me a message and I will call you back as soon as I can." So that when hiring managers or people related to a job search are calling you, that gives them a professional image of you and maybe a little insight to your personality.
Definitely. That's so true. And I know you and I spoke about that because you listened to my voicemail, and it's been out there for years. In fact, whenever you listen to my voicemail message, it's still Tina Marie Jones. I've been married for 8 years. So, and so my new beloved's like, "You have a different last name. You might want to change that." But I have not changed my voice recording, obviously. It does have high energy. So if you want to hear one that is an example, call me when I'm not answering the phone and you'll get to listen. But that's great advice, Pam, for us to use that as a data source for people to get to know who we are simply through listening to our voicemail message, right?
Yep.
Awesome. And along those same lines, we can also use our tagline. So our emails have taglines. You can put a signature space down there so people can learn more about you and your personality, and maybe a favorite quote or a link to your CV that could be online or your own website, things of that nature. So we want to use the different places we have, billboard space as I call it, for our visibility to those people that are reaching out. And if you need any help writing that or arranging that or getting some feedback on either one of those, the voicemail message or your signature line, please just reach out to your coach or reach out to Pam or I, and we'll help. Feedback is always necessary, right? I love feedback. So Lindsay said, "Great tips. Sorry, internet's choppy." I understand that whenever we have to take away our video because our internet's choppy. No worries. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to get right to it for the LinkedIn training here. And we had another LinkedIn training that happened a couple weeks ago, and it was on how to build out your profile. If you missed that and you didn't get it in your email, please do reach out to hello@bonfirecoaching.com and let us know. We will go into our new CRM system and make sure that your name is appropriately tagged with the information segments that we want you to receive, and we can resend that link. And that's for the first part of the LinkedIn training. We've already covered a lot there. Today, what we're going to dive into is how to use LinkedIn as a job board and how to create your network around that and how to get in front of hiring managers. So I'm going to pick on a company that we all know, It's Amazon. So if I were somebody that wanted to go work for Amazon, it's like, I love that company. I want to be at the top of their list, and I want to see what jobs they have out there. So we're going to use Amazon as a go-to company. And this is an exercise that I use for each one of our clients that are in our career program. We ask you to write out at least 10 companies that you absolutely love in the world, that you respect and would love to have on your CV, on your resume. You know these companies, and if you don't, there's a couple places you can source to go find top-rated companies in the US, top-rated companies in your city, top-rated companies in your state, or maybe top-rated companies in the industry that you're interested in working in and developing your career through. So those types of periodicals could include Forbes magazine, Inc. magazine, the Wall Street Journal publishes other lists. If you're in the Houston area, the HBJ, which is the Houston Business Journal, they have a book of lists that you'd want to look up. There's a lot of different resources, and if those don't fit where you are, you can always look to your Chamber of Commerce. Your Chamber of Commerce will have ranked many of the business owners and businesses in your area, plus they will have their contact information, and they will have ways that you can get in front of them, especially from a job search standpoint. Other places you can go to find more information about the industries in your area or high-ranking companies are the universities that are close to you, such as, we have the University of Houston here, we have Rice University. The universities of your area, the ones closest to your metropolitan area, will be doing research, and they want to stay in community with a lot of the businesses because it's where they get their funding. So universities and colleges will have a ton of information about corporations, organizations, even small and mid-sized employers, because they need to keep that research relevant. So you would go to the Career Center on campus or call them. Usually they have an online repository of this information as well. And that way you are more informed. And so our 10 list that we give our clients as far as homework is to make a list of those 10 companies that you would respect and love to be able to add to your CV. And that would be the basis through which will help you use LinkedIn to start what you're going to see here today. So if you haven't yet made your 10 company list, do so. And if you're not looking for a new job, if you have a great job, this could also be the same list you use to build your network. Because we always want to be building our network, because we never know when we're going to need to tap into it. We don't really need to tap into the network all the time for a job or a career. Maybe we need a connection for a project that we're working on, or somebody that we know somebody. If a vendor comes into our company and we're supposed to vet that vendor before they work on a project, you need to reach out to your network to see who also knows that vendor and get some behind the scenes ammo to understand what's going on. And LinkedIn is a powerful resource for that. So in the search bar, I've typed in Amazon. Can you guys see it? Pam, can you see my screen? Everything's going, just thumbs up? Okay, cool. So you have two different ways to look into the results. One is the people that are at Amazon that it can connect you to, and the jobs. So we're going to go straight into the jobs, or you can go right to the company, and I'll just do it this way, because if you go to the company page, you're going to see everything's accessible right there anyway. Let me move us out of the way, move our chat, because I want to see. So what you're going to see is 403,888 employees on LinkedIn work at Amazon. I have some connections here, and you can see that Amazon's ranked number 3 in LinkedIn top companies. That's always good. They also have a lot of followers. You can visit their page or their website. What we're concerned about here, I'm putting on the hat of Sherlock Holmes. I'm becoming an investigator right now, and I want to find out about the jobs that Amazon has posted online. So over here on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see all the different tags that they have, the segments that they have. And if you're, which I really suggest you use premium, sign up for premium. It's $60 a month. And what you get with premium are a lot more features, especially if you're in the job hunt time frame or season. You need to open up premium while you're looking. And then whenever you've landed your great career, simply turn off premium. Unless you love it, then keep it going. So we're going to go to jobs. And in jobs, they have things that are recently posted a month ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Let's see if I can move this. I need real estate. Sorry, I have other windows competing for space here. You can use this next tab to scroll around the ones that are already posted more recently. However, if you're looking for a particular keyword, so we're going to pick on communications because I have a client who's looking for a major communications job. She is looking for a director of communications. And if I did not know that specificity and didn't want to go straight into that title, I simply wanted to be in the communications department. This is a breakout of different roles that are in communications that LinkedIn commonly looks for. You just hit return here and it's going to pull everything that is for communications. So then you'll have things over here on the left-hand side, and AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, is hiring like crazy. So in case you know people that are in more the technological or even sales side because they're selling a lot of their web services, which includes cloud services, things of that nature, and hosting sites and moving things to the cloud platform, then they're hiring. And so I know that there's an executive communications manager and someone within Amazon, this is a need right now, and they're promoting it. So they're putting some dollars into this one because they're looking to fill this right now. I also know that my client, who I look for you guys too, is very interested in being in the North East, and this is from New York. I happen to see that I have one connection that works here. That's pretty cool. So let's go see who this connection is because I can't read that small. It's Chris Woodell. So I know Chris. And he's in my network. And so I could reach out to him if I know that I'm the right person for this job. In fact, I'm going to do this for him, for my client, Lisa. I would reach out to Chris. I need to go find out if Lisa really wants this job, if she's interested in it. And then I'd write a message to Chris saying, hey, Chris, how you doing? Been a while. Want to let you know that I have a great candidate that's available and I'd like to send her your resume. Are you in charge of the position that is posted and promoted right now inside of AWS for the Director of Communications? And if he says, yes, great, I'm sending it to him. If he says, no, I know who that is, can you please connect me? That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll send the resume on. So we want to look first at who we are connected to inside of a network, a company, to utilize our hot connections. And then we can also find out on here, because he and I work together at Dynegy, what we could also find out is who else is he connected to that I could also leverage. And I think that's at the top, sorry. 500 plus connections. I'm seeing who else I'm connected to. Luna, I know. Sorry, I skipped ahead. Let me go back this way. I'm just going back. So I'm also connected to Mike, Deb, and 5 other connections. So I can click on this to see who he and I share in our network. And I could use them. I could mention them if it's apropos, if it works. So I'm just doing some investigation here. Oh, he knows John. So none of these honestly would help me with the Amazon because none of these also work at Amazon. We're connected to these people, but none of them also work at Amazon. How I could leverage that is I see you're also connected to, let's say Joe. And if Joe's in charge of this role, please let me know as well. I'm already connected to him. So we want to use our network. And it dropped me, as you see, back to people because I clicked on the job and I clicked on who I'm connected to. So what I want to do is go into the Executive Communications Manager role. And if I read that this is what I want, they've already had 260 applicants. It's a mid-senior level position, so that tells me there's probably bonus involved. That helps me on the offer side negotiations in the future if I were to get interviewed. I can apply here. So you always want to read the description and see if you really fit. I suggest that you take the job description, copy it, pull it out, and put it into a Word document because you want to keep track of this. They may change it. So you want to keep track of it, date it, make a file for your job applications and the company that you applied for, the date you applied for, that, and the version of the resume that you sent. Because many of us have different versions of our resumes. If you have a cover letter, you want to keep in that folder the resume you sent, the cover letter you sent, and the list of references if they ask for that you sent. We want to keep everything organized so you know how you communicated for that job app. Also, you want to pull out some of the things that they're asking for specifically whenever you get to write your narrative after applying that stand out for you having read the description. I really dislike it, and I'm hiring right now, so I can tell when someone simply applies without ever having read the job description. That's an immediate, you're out of here. So we want to have you look at the job description when you're writing your narrative, and every single company is going to ask you to write a narrative. You're going to be replying to something that is handwritten. They're looking for a lot there. And you want to reference this job description when they're making sure you read it here. And, oh, this is cool. They have the related jobs in case those jobs are also interesting to you. You can apply for more than one job within a company. Once you apply, you're going to want to make it. I'm not going to go this far because I'm not applying for a job at Amazon. But you want to make sure that you use that narrative whenever you're describing the open-ended questions that they ask you, right? They're always going to be asking those open-ended questions specific to the role that you said you wanted to apply for. So you want to reference it. Makes sense, right? Okay. So, my bar is in the way, so hold on 1 second. Gonna hop back over here. So hopefully the screen is still following me, because I did hop to everything. You guys can still see my screen, Pam? Give me a thumbs up. Good, okay, cool. So we want to go through the jobs and set aside some dedicated time whenever you're doing this process so you don't have a lot of interruptions, because you want to be mindful. And you want to read. I mean, I love Audible as a company. For heaven's sakes, if I was in the job hunt, I would jump on this one. I love Audible. They're an amazing company. They are owned by Amazon. They were acquired by Amazon about 13 years ago. So, Director of Partnerships, Content Acquisition and Development. It's a lot of words. What does that actually mean? You're going to go over here and you're going to read what are the job descriptions for this, and then apply. So again, key takeaways here: make sure you're relevant to the job, make an organized folder within your job search, keep the job description, the version of the resume you've sent in, and any other pertinent information that you answered there, so you can utilize that again in your interview process. So you don't want to say something that's contradictory to what you already communicated through a job application, because they have that data, right? Now, let's get a little bit more Sherlock Holmes-like, which I really love, is I'm looking at, let's go back up to the director, the Executive Communications Manager, right? So this is for AWS, Executive Communications Manager. And I know that there's, one of my contacts works there, but he does not work in this department. I doubt that Chris works in, he's just a sourcing recruiter at AWS. He doesn't work in communications. So we want to go find people. So see up here, you can click people. We want to do all people at Amazon. And so, actually that's all people, sorry. I want to do all people at Amazon. I'm going to go back here. I'm searching Amazon, getting Amazon up. I'm going to go to Amazon, the company. Oh, plug in your computer, Tina Marie. Then I'm going to find people, making sure I'm only getting people inside Amazon, narrowing this down. You can look at where do they live. If you know you want to work in a certain area, like one of my clients wants to work in San Antonio. If you know that Amazon has a San Antonio office and you work for Amazon in San Antonio, you're going to go find where they live, where they work, and you're going to narrow down your search. What I'm interested in is who works in communications. So I'm going to search, spelling it correctly, communications. And this is going to definitely narrow down the search. You notice that went from 400,000 to down to 23,000. And we're going to look at who's there. Mr. Drew Herdener is Vice President of Global Corporate Communications. Now, something I'm looking for is a 1 or a 2. So she is hiring. I need to connect to her. So I'm going to add a note. Her name is Heather, right? This is impromptu. I'm doing this because I just found her and I need to connect to her. Hello, Heather. I'd love to learn more about the position you have open, as I am working with an amazing head of director. She's a director of communications. So that you're seeing behind the scenes what I do for you guys. Director of, and what our coaches do for you. Leaving a Fortune 100 firm and looking to join, and I'm going to say Amazon. I have 300 characters here, by the way, I could use. When can we chat? My best phone is, and I always give them my cell because I don't want to beat around the bush and have them go to voicemail. So some people think, in fact, I worked with a gentleman yesterday, he works at HP. He's like, wow, that's pretty brave. That's like courageous. You just head out there and do it. I'm like, yeah, because we don't have enough time to beat around the bush in this world, and people don't want to do that. Yes, there's the PC stuff. We want to be kind and respectful of their position. The truth is, they're moving fast at the speed of light. So are you. So we want to be efficient. And we want to be courageous. It's not really courageous. It's simply respectful. I appreciate who you are. I want to have a connection, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. She's going to get that. So here, whenever you do this search into the people side, you're looking for people that strategically either on your job search are going to be great to connect with so that they could either have more information or they may be the hiring manager. If you get word in the industry job search that somebody does have, this guy, Joe is hiring, go find them on LinkedIn, get to them. Let's see, somebody wrote me a note. So let me go over to our notes. I want to keep up with what you guys are saying. Exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Right, Lindsay, nothing's bad. I mean, they're going to appreciate that you're that direct, especially, for heaven's sakes, I'm looking for jobs in communications, right? In this particular role. Be direct, concise, appreciative, thankful. People respond to that. And if they don't, that's so true. So true. Very well put, Lindsay. So I want you to think in this direction. Be strategic about who you connect to. Some people, like old sales, like a long time ago, whenever I did Dale Carnegie sales, they told me, go for the lowest hanging fruit, like get in the door, get your foot in the door, try to find a receptionist or somebody like that, or find somebody who's lower on the totem pole, open up and tell you the real what's behind the scenes and what's happening. No, I do not advocate that in any way. One, it's wasting time, and you're building your network with people that aren't strategic to your level or higher. I say go for the highest one. Go for the CEO. Go for the COO. Go for the chairman of the board. Go for where you want to be and where you want to be regarded. Do not cloud your network with the people. And it's not judgmental. I simply want you to be precise and efficient. So I would go for the directors here. I'd connect. I'm just going to send some connections because she's hiring. So that's why I said I need to talk to her like right now. Patty Smith. I like your name because my aunt's name is Patty Smith. That wasn't why I said yes. She's the head of corporate communications. So you see the strategy here. This is second in communication. She's a professional, so she's a worker bee. I do share 6 connections. I'm going to go ahead and say yes because I've got some connections there. That'll be a yes, let's connect. I'm looking for 2s and 1s. She's a strategist. I don't see any 1s just yet. They would have been toward the top, by the way. I can also decipher it, like I said, down to where they live. I can click on the United States and see where in the United States, at least it's supposed to show me where in the United States they live, and maybe not that search is doing it. I know there's a place where I can get really narrow because I can add up here. Let's say I want Houston because I live in the Houston area. I can add, so it's got communications in Houston. I can see who's in the Houston area. So these people are connected in some way to Houston. So just letting you know. What else did I want to share with you guys? Jobs in general. So up here at the top of your LinkedIn on the header bar is going to be a little suitcase. It's a briefcase. Jobs. So you click on jobs. Thank you so much for the COVID warnings. And if you haven't already done this, you're going to set up some job searches for yourself based on the keywords that you are available for out there. And if you're in a job right now, you want to open up your profile to only recruiters. We covered that before. If you're not in a job, I ask you to be really brave and open up your job profile and your job listings and your availability to the entire network called LinkedIn. It doesn't hurt. You need to be seen. You can't assume that recruiters are going to find you. And the truth is, a lot of employers are also looking for you that don't want to pay recruiters. It's a lot of money to work with a recruiter and to lose that money as opposed to give that money to you. It's just like I compare it to for sale by owners on a house. If it's a for sale by owner, you have greater negotiation skills there or negotiation room because you're dealing straight with the owner. If you go with a realtor, which I love realtors, I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying this is an analogy here. The recruiter equals a realtor, and that percentage is going to go to the recruiter. Same with going to the realtor. Realtors earn their keep and more. However, if you want to save that money and get a little bit more tighter on the negotiation for a property, you're going to have to do your own work. And in order to do your own work, you're going to have to, not pay that. That's what employers do. They like to go find their own people, do their own job search. That's what's happening inside of the jobs with Amazon. They have their internal recruiters. Recruiters inside Amazon do come through LinkedIn, and they do have the recruiter profile so they can see posts. However, many companies don't have internal recruiters and they don't want to work with recruiters. So you want to open up your profile, if you're brave enough, to everybody when you're in a job search. Let me see what the notes are saying. You guys are giving me some notes. In fact, let me do this and then I'll get back to your notes. So inside the job, remember we came to the top, clicked on the briefcase. You can search by skills. We're still doing communications. I'm going to use that as our reference point today. It tells me, it helps me. So you would search for the job title that you're looking for. I do multiple of these searches so that you have a variety of different job titles that you're saving the search for. And you can find them this way and promote research. Again, keep track of everything you apply for. Don't just blindly apply and then hope they're going to get back to you and think, oh yeah, where'd I do that for? They do save it. So inside jobs, when you're in there, it saves, where are they? Save jobs, so you can save them. Applied jobs, it does that. I want you to be more organized on your end and not depend on LinkedIn. Job alerts. You can set up alerts that will come to your notifications on your phone, in your inbox, so that it sends you. I get one at the end of the day. Let me go back in there and show you that. Save job alerts. You can turn on job alerts from any of your recent job searches, and you would turn it on here. Get job recommendations. That's always fun. What do you think I should do in the world? LinkedIn knows. So you get that. My job searches, I've done some of these already. Let me see what else I want to tell you about this screen. Job alerts, applied jobs. I applied for some jobs here, and then you're going to have a lot of those saved jobs. I save a lot of jobs so I can research them for my clients. Look at that. Wouldn't this have been the greatest job in the world? No longer accepting applications. Head of communications at Lego. we applied for that one. And I was like, I want to work at Lego. So also, I'm a premium. And I said, if you turn on premium, these are some of the things that you get. Anything that's grayed out like this is a premium benefit. And one is it'll tell you jobs where you're a top applicant. If you're a top applicant, and these are some of the search results it'll send you also at the end of the day if you choose for that or choose at the end of the week. and it lets you know how you rank in the applicants that have applied for, like, I'm not going to work for Action Coach, but they just tell you different things that are out here. And like the president of Maine Energy Marketers, right? 27 applicants. It's new. So if anybody wants to be the president of a marketing association, there you go. Based on your profile, it's telling you different things that you could apply for. So it does run these through for you based on your profile. Remember, we worked on your profile before. How are they pairing these things up? As a reminder, they're pairing these things up because you have some keywords right here underneath your name that they're first searching for. Then they have, what did you, you opened yourself up to opportunities. What did you choose? You get to choose 5. Because of that, it's searching those. Then whenever you look at your about, there's keywords you can have in your about. It's searching through those. It's searching through the experience you have, the titles you have in your resume as far as the roles that you held inside of other firms. It's also looking at your recommendations. Where'd my recommendations go? It's looking at skills and endorsements. It's looking at recommendations because you're going to be recommended for certain things. I've got recommendations I didn't even know about. I need to read them. I'll do them later. Cool. So recommendations are very important. So are your skill sets, and so is your resume, how it's put in here. We covered this before in our previous. And then the title that you give yourself up here, use this real estate. You've got 3 lines to work with. Don't be chintzy. Use them. Cool. So now I want to open up to some questions from you guys. I want to make sure that I went through this well. You can do salary research. I wouldn't trust it. There's other places to do salary research. LinkedIn isn't known for their salary research. We help you with salary research. I have a client who has gotten, we're waiting for an offer letter. Verbally, it's been given. We're waiting for the actuals. And we have compensation experts that we contract with that know the different industries and the different moving pieces to compensation plans, especially with the difference, you know, how economics are changing in our world right now. And so ask your coach about the negotiations and compensation plans that you can get more detailed on, as it helps involve not only the base salary, but increases over time, the bonus structures, if you're going to trade that out for stock options, vesting timelines, you know, positioning for a greater title versus assuming the one that was there if there's some negotiation on the title, because it's going to put you in a different compensation bracket and the ability to be promoted in a shorter time frame depending on the title that you get. Okie dokie. I'm going to come back to you guys and move you back up here so I can see everybody. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a little while. We can hop back in there. I want to see if you guys have any questions. So here, Lindsay said degrees of separation. They'll see that you're in there. Yeah, see that they're in the network, definitely. And if you're not in the network, that's where you go to your recommendations. You go to your own network, and if you see that they have somebody that you want to connect to, exactly, Lindsay, you ask for that connection. And whenever it comes from someone you already know, asking for that connection, it's golden. Pamela, why are 1 or a 2? They're closer in your connections. A 3 is pretty far out. You're not going to have a lot of rapport with those people, or possibly not even share job history or university history. So education also comes into play whenever it's close, as you saw. Well, you didn't see that one. There was somebody I connected to today that was graduated from the University of Houston. Yes, Lindsay, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Hi. I just moved everything around. I could see you again.
No, it's fine. I have like one statement and then a question for the group and you. My statement is related to kind of the degrees of separation and then how you're sort of connecting to people. And I find that there are people in the 3s that I'm like, oh, I really would like to know that person. And in those cases, I always send a personal note.
A note.
Yeah. because I want them to, they're going to see that maybe my background, they're like, why is this person with this background reaching out to me? So I want to make it clear, what I respect about what they're doing and why I'm reaching out otherwise. And sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. I really don't care. But that with a
reminded, you can send them another note too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little like 7 degrees of separation, Kevin Bacon style. But anyway, so threes I always send a note to. And then sometimes if I'm particularly interested in a 2, I'll send a note too. It just tends to help send that sort of extra.
It does.
Yeah, get their notice. It just depends. It depends on the size of the company and how busy that person may be, how much they use LinkedIn and all of that. So sometimes it's as good as just sending an invite like you did, and sometimes you gotta kind of think, maybe I ought to send a little.
It shows respect.
Sure.
Sometimes if people don't want to be connected to, their profile is private. You can still see that they're part of a company. You can see their title, but there's no way to connect to them. So we simply would find a different way to make that happen.
Sure.
In fact, I'll give a little hint on what I do for my clients is I ask them to find, something relevant in their profile, because sometimes their profile, you can see a bit of it. Or if you know that company appeared in an article or did something, we want to find something relevant. And I ask them to find a business book that's related to what they believe that person would like to read. Maybe it's something on the Amazon bestseller, the New York Times bestseller that's new, and get those books, mail it to that person, because a book will make it usually make it to the desk because it's a gift, and have a handwritten note inside of it on nice paper that is to that person, and thank them for for the article you read, or the speech that you saw, or the TED talk they gave, or the charitable give that their company did, and make it relevant and send it its appreciation, and say, I'm looking forward to continuing our connections. If we can connect on LinkedIn or another place, that would be great. Here's my information. And that's a way through I don't want to be seen, I don't want to be connected to. Anyway, that's a little hack.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
You had a question?
Yeah. So, I think one of the issues I'm running into, and it's specific to me, but I don't know if other people might have this issue, is when you're kind of in a job hunt, whether you have a job and are looking, or currently unemployed, your job history weighs heavily on the LinkedIn AI system.
Right.
So they pull a lot from your experience. But that might not be where you're thinking you want to go with your future. So it's been a little bit of a challenge for me to sort of tweak my profile kind of in line with where I want to go, and also, demonstrating that, I have a pretty solid work history, but I can use it in different ways. So I guess my question is, which portion within LinkedIn, so, I changed my about section. I added a couple things to the little line under my name. I can't add a lot of detail into my experience. I'm just not able to do that. It's sensitive. So I'm, outside of getting people to recommend me for specific things or post articles, I'm not sure how to kind of demonstrate.
Yeah, your proficiency and interested in another industry.
Yeah, and also I don't know what I want to do, so this is a problem.
No problem. No problem. So something I definitely recommend is to join groups of those places that are interest of you. So whenever you join a group, then you have access to the group members, and you can poll questions. You can ask some questions. So what are some of the groups
I have been doing that and connecting with those people, but I'm just finding in terms of like the job recommendations that I'm getting, they're so far afield of what I would want to do, because it's all sort of based on like I think what they're pulling from my profile, and then what's available to put in, what would you call that? Hold on, let me go to
the 5 that you choose, what you want to be.
Yes.
You can choose those 5s based on anything, right? And you can even change them. So you know, from week to week, if you learn more and get more specific, you can change those 5 things that you're looking for. How
Maybe I
recruiters
need
find
better descriptions.
you. Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
I can, sure. Yeah.
Let me stop.
Give me an invite.
Stop, and then I need to open that because groups are a great way to do it. And there you go. Groups are a great way to do it and get to learn the people there. You can still stalk a company, you can still stalk an industry and find the top people within that industry and connect to them and ask them, you know, if they know of anything that's open that you're wanting to leap from where you've been to where you want to go, and get advice from people, not seeing that they have the job. They may have some advice or some open doors for you. So what were your 5 that you chose?
Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen.
I wonder, can you see the one that I intended to share and not my second screen?
I see a pretty white screen, search for your next job, and job searches,
Okay.
Contract
Okay.
trace,
Right.
remote security analysts. And so, yeah, so in premium, it definitely is saying what you have done and what you're known for. It's pulling that a lot from the titles that you have in your resume. Where do you have an idea of where you want to be, or different industries, because you want to move out of security or you want to stay in security?
I don't mind staying in security, but so I don't want to be, you know, and it's hard to find a name for what I want to do. You know, I see things like, she calls herself a hunter, and she finds human traffickers, and so things like that, or like it's sort of similar to what you guys do, where it's like not a recruiting service, but sort of a career coaching, but for girls and women, like girls and young women kind of entering the workforce. So, and I've tried to kind of get into that space with other like NGOs and companies that do that, but it's a hard thing to define in like a job role. I'm fine. You know, other.
You might want to go outside of NGOs. So I know you have a lot of experience with them, but there's different organizations that are very globally connected and well funded, such as Underground Railroad, things that nature, that you could, you know, go straight to and say, listen, I have a great background and I'd love to see how I can fit in your organization.
I think I follow, but maybe I don't. I don't know if they have groups or if I follow, or what's the difference in what I have done with them. But I know of Underground Railroad, and I feel like I have tried to connect in some fashion.
Yeah. So I can see how that's not playing exactly of where you want to be there. There are in your profile, if you go to your profile and edit your profile, and then that right there, open a job opportunities, and hit the pencil. So these 5,
I need to take these out.
Yeah, so you'd want to change them, right? So this is where I was saying, under these job preferences, you can mod these on a weekly or monthly basis, you know, right now weekly, to get some more specifics, because this is the primary thing that it's running those analytics on. It's going to pull those jobs first, and then once it has that based on what you're looking for, because it's like, I'm not going to pull it if you're not looking for it. Then it's scrubbing your resume and it's seeing, where did you also hold this role? That's where the percentages are coming from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, in a typical situation, and I have tried to tweak this a little bit, but you know, there's not really, as you have to come up with it yourself, right? Like, it doesn't have an option, and that's great. But suppose I can go and look at some of the job titles in the companies or NGOs or whatever that do this. I'm not sure still that would
or even go
but
look.
It would help. Vice president gets me things like vice president of, you know, or senior director of blah 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 IT, you know, security and analytical functions. I'm like, I don't even barely know how to turn my computer on. So
another thing that you may want to open up to is simply put the location United States, because especially with the COVID and the quarantine that we're learning, there's a lot of employers that are now open to people working from home. Even globally. So what we can do, I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? Open it up to the world and you get to narrow it down, Because if we're too specific in the job locations, we may be missing something really great that's out there that we wouldn't have seen because LinkedIn's showing us this. Fair enough?
Gotcha. Yep. I have
Cool.
some ideas. Thank you.
And I know you're currently in a position, so yours is open to only recruiters. I just want to point that to other people. And that's a safe thing, especially because you don't want your employer knowing that you're also looking.
Yes. Well, I also manage my employer's LinkedIn, so I don't think he's on.
Oh, so you're safe there.
So we're good. We're good.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
Cool. So does anybody else have questions? Let me see. If you could stop sharing on your side. I don't think I can stop sharing your screen on my side. I don't know why. But cool. Let me look at the chat, see if any other questions came in, or if anybody wants to raise their hand, come on camera, raise your hand. Hello, Tanya. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your leap into personal freedom. She's recently left her employer of many, many years, and it took a lot of courage. And so, good job. Good job. So there's so many wonderful things that LinkedIn can do. This is the other thing I was going to show you. Oh, forgot. Okay, two things real quick. Share screen, Tina Marie. Yeah, share screen. Two things I want to show you. Another thing to do is to keep an area on your computer or on your phone where you have a notes pad or someplace where you can keep the different types of notes or correspondence you want to give based on different responses. And one that is great to have is a thank you for connecting on LinkedIn. We always want to send thank you notes. So those people that I connected to earlier, whenever they say yes, I'm going to send them a thank you. And this one simply reads, hello and thank you for connecting. I see we share common interests in groups. It is my belief that a strong network allows us to help others and contribute to the solutions of our world. If you guys would like this, I'll paste it. Would it be okay in the next weeks that we find a brief time to share a 10-minute conversation to learn more of each other's roles and needs? If there's anyone in my network that you would love to be connected to, please ask. I would happy to make the introduction. And then you send your information. So to keep these brief notes so that whenever you have those connections that happen, you don't just assume that, oh, okay, now I'm connected to that person. They want to hear from you. So we want to be cordial. And like Pam was starting out at the beginning, is that those little bitty nuances make a world of difference in understanding whether or not you're going to be regarded and trusted as a career professional and a leader, or just a run-of-the-mill person who's applying who will not get the time or day typically, especially from somebody in higher up positions. So have these notes that you can easily send. You just took a screenshot. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. So those are great things. And then the second thing I wanted to show you, let me stop sharing, then I'll restart, is that whenever you're also looking, I mean, we focused on LinkedIn jobs today. There's plenty of other job boards out there. Whenever you search on Indeed and you look for a job, remember we went to Amazon and we saw that there were Amazon communication jobs. I haven't done this, so you're going to see that this is probably, no, I don't want to sign in as Tina Marie from Google. Google, stop hunting me down. Okay, so I'm going to share this. I'm in Indeed, and inside Indeed, when you have so many windows open, we're going to do communications. And I'm just going to keep communications as a broad United States, find jobs. So if I were to find that Director of Communications in Amazon here, which again, I'm just doing this right now, advanced job search, I think I can look for Amazon, exact phrases, company, Amazon. Did it keep it? Yeah. Then what you would find, you can open job searches here in Indeed too, and also give you information on that. Whenever you find it, you're going to get a little bit more data. And that helps you form a better response to the people you're trying to connect with on LinkedIn. So I think this was it. The communications program manager. I think it was a director level. We'll go with this one. So you'll know more about it outside of the job that was posted inside of LinkedIn. You may learn more. I want you to really put on your Sherlock Holmes hat and start thinking in these different perspectives in order to get narrowed down on what's going on inside of the companies that you're wanting to work for. Remote work available. That's always good, right? You can save your jobs. And I was seeing if it could show any other, like the city that was posted, things of that nature. So I wanted to open your mind to work with and pair the other job boards with the LinkedIn job board to learn more specifics. So whenever you are responding to the job or whenever you're finding people that are in that department, you can speak more intelligently toward the opening. Cool. So what are some takeaways from today? Did you guys find this worth it? Our little masterclass on LinkedIn job hunting? Pam, you loved it? Great. Cool. If anybody has a verbal takeaway, I accept verbal takeaways as well, so we can cement in the value. Lindsay, you have a verbal takeaway from today?
Yeah, you know mine. More work needs to be done.
But you learned some more ways to go about it.
Yes, no, and you know, I think that just the little things like we kicked off the call matter. You know, those personal touches and approaches and follow up, and just your demeanor can go a long way. So don't be afraid of your personality. But also just the logistics of searching through and kind of hunting for your person to reach out to is important, because you don't want the wrong person. Not that they would necessarily be wrong totally, but you know, you're looking for the person that has access to the job.
Exactly.
I like the process that you kind of went through on that.
Thanks. And they're immediately going to go to your profile.
Right.
So we want to make sure that your profile, that's why we did that part one. We want to make sure that your profile is great and you want people to find you that way. It's like when you get, you know, I don't know if you guys, when you were little, people would just come over to your house. Like I remember like the doorknob just, you know, like the ding, ding, somebody's here, and you go and it's a friend. Or I even had aunts and uncles who were passing through Houston just stop by. I mean, like we didn't have cell phones to let people know. And my mom was the person who was saying, we need to have the house in order in case we have gas. I mean, like we had to have stuff stocked in the refrigerator and the pantry. You guys too? Like, that was me. So we want to have our profile ready in case you have guests. So we want to have that. They want to see your headshot. They're going to make a judgment. We simply do. We judge. It's our minds doing that. We're trying to find relatability. And if your headshot is great, they're going to, oh yeah, okay. And what else? And they're going to move past that and learn more about you. So do make sure that your profile is what you want people to take in, and that's going to allow them to get to know you better. So anyway, and we do want to have guests on our LinkedIn profile. So thank you all for your time today. Thank you for attending our Bonfire Career Professionals and Leadership call. This happens each month, so look for it in your inbox. And if you registered for this one today, you've registered for all of them throughout the entire year. So the same link is going to be working next month and the month after that. And we're going to dive in specifically on different things that are going to help you in your career, leadership, communications. And if you have any specific questions or needs, please write to us at hello@bonfirecoaching.com so that we can field those things and answer your questions, especially for the whole group, so people hear and learn together. Remember to mark your calendars for BBOM if you want to be part of the Business Owners Mastermind next Thursday. And then at the end of the month on Tuesday, on the 30th here of June, we're going to have our Bonfire Connection. And it's always a blast to be there. People always learn some really great things. And I'm going to do a scavenger hunt this time on it. So we're keeping it real. And yes, we're going to do a scavenger hunt through Zoom. So it's going to be ultra fun. You're going to want to attend the Bonfire at the end of the month. Hope you have a great day. Go make all your dreams happen. Big hugs.
Bye.
Bye.